I've been involved in the same fight. We've shared the stage together in several different places here in Utah and Nevada. I think up in Idaho once. And it's been an amazing relationship, and I'm so grateful for today. He deserves today. I want to thank him for inviting me to this wonderful picnic. And thank all of you. Thank you, thank you. I've said for 20 years ago, February 28th, this is an amazing time, 20 years ago, February 28th, 1994, I filed a lawsuit against the Clinton administration in federal court, and in 1997, we won. We kicked Janet Reno and Bill Clinton's butt back to Washington. And now I'm serious. I think we've seen a very powerful moment today. How we take back liberty. We the people are the most important facet of this government. It's not the government that's important. It's not the politicians that are important. It's we the people standing with our neighbors in defense of American liberty. This is America. This was the example today. So, I also had my faith restored in politicians a little bit. I can't believe it. The state Senate in Arizona and the House of Representatives in Arizona voted to send about 10, 12 politicians, not politicians, they're not. They're public servants. They're statesmen and stateswomen. And they're here, and they came here to defend liberty. You just beat them a little bit and got rid of it before they got here, so that's wonderful. But there's so many of them coming up from Arizona to be part of the picnic and to be part of liberty. Can you imagine? They don't even live in this state, and they said we're going up to Nevada to stand for liberty, to stand for those God-given principles that made us a country in the first place. And they're coming. They're still on the road. I wish you would have had the traffic a little bit better today.
Yes.
This was the most traffic violations I ever committed in my life. Don't tell Metro, don't tell Gillespie, and don't tell the Highway Patrol that I put on my flashers and went around all the traffic and got here about an hour before everybody else did. I was on a mission. And you can't let something like that get in your way. And that's another thing I've preached about. I don't believe in traffic tickets. They're called, what I've called traffic tickets, taxation through citation. And if we have our constitutional sheriffs really exercising their true mission, their true responsibility, then traffic tickets are going to fall by the wayside by about 90%. We're not going to have tax collectors as peace officers anymore. We're going to have true public servants who really believe in serve and protect. What do they protect? What do our peace officers, what are they supposed to protect? They're supposed to protect us and the Constitution and our given rights as they serve us in keeping the peace. That's why I kept telling Sheriff Gillespie, it is your job to be up here. He kept saying, I don't have the authority to interfere. Now we know, and we have shown the American people that they do have the authority and the responsibility to protect us from the tyrants in Washington, D.C. I'd like to see that. Now, in closing, just let me tell you what I was thinking out there when it got really tense out there today, and when all the guns were pointed at a lot of you. I remembered the immortal words of Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death.
I'm not even going to say politicians. We invite constitutionalists, people who we believe in those same general principles, leave us the heck alone and don't take our stuff. We have the honor and privilege of having somebody here today. And I'll tell you what, I cannot tell you how much admiration I have for this person. She's going to give us words. State Senator from Arizona, okay, and note the following, okay? I was calling today on the air as we were proceeding down. I was asking for John McCain to come support us freedom fighters. John McCain never showed up, okay? But obviously, now listen, John McCain went to the Ukraine to support those freedom fighters, okay, but I wanted to get us $5 billion that he gave to the Ukrainians as freedom fighters and maybe come here to Bunkerville to support our efforts, okay? John McCain never showed up, of course, because he's only interested in overthrowing governments overseas. But State Senator Kelli Ward from Arizona is here to greet us. She's a constitutionalist. She's fighting for this particular day, telling that the people truly have the power to do exactly what we did today. So it's my honor and privilege to turn the mic over to State Senator from Arizona, Kelli Ward. Big round of applause for her.
Thank you all so much. It is wonderful to be here in the desert by this ranch with so many freedom-loving patriots. Yes, you are all patriots, and it is amazing to see what peaceful civil disobedience can accomplish, because this was the first shot across the bow and we won this battle. Yes. Yes. You might wonder why somebody from Arizona is here in Nevada to fight this battle. Well, my district, in fact, goes right up to the Nevada line, and many of my constituents said, what's going on up there? Get up there and find out. We want to know from your perspective what's happening, and you represent us, so we expect you to go. We want you to go find out, because we do not want anything like this to come into Arizona, because it's unconstitutional, and we are not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for this massive federal overreach, unconstitutional federal overreach. We want to reset the proper balance between the state government and the federal government. And really, I'd love to have a lot of leave me alone zones. You know, we should be leaving people alone. People are able to determine how to eat, how to find water, how to live without the government intervening and telling them what to do. So, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I will be in Arizona fighting for freedom, fighting for liberty, fighting for small government, fighting for less taxes, and I take the oath that I took to our Constitution very seriously. So I will be there fighting for our constitutional rights as well. I thank you all for letting me be here to talk. I really did not plan to talk. I'm not planning to be here for the press conference that was supposed to happen on Monday. I just wanted to be here to be part of history with all of you as we stood up to the federal government, and they heard us roar. They heard our liberty roar, and I hope you guys won't stop here. You will continue it. You will tell your friends. You will tell your neighbors, and get more and more people, because we can accomplish great things. We, the people. Thank you.
Awesome. You know, and I said I wanted to bring her up, and I actually, when I introduced myself to her for the first time, I said, Kelli Ward. I said, oh my goodness. I mean, I actually greet it. I greet some of our nation's greatest patriots, and it could be a quote-unquote, when I say the word politician, she's not a politician, okay? But when I refer to those people that are in political office who are really doing the right thing, who I believe are, you know, does anyone know, like Trey Gowdy, for instance?
Yeah.
Does everyone like Trey Gowdy?
Yeah.
Now, I express my opinion if I find somebody like a Trey Gowdy, and he starts saying some stuff, and I'm like, man, that guy's fighting for us in there. So if I have a politician on my show, it's going to be somebody like Trey Gowdy that's doing and saying the right things for us, okay? Now, I call our listenership, my listenership, it has grown to the point for one reason, okay? Because you see this congregation right here, folks? You and I used to call us meat and potatoes people, okay? But as a result of this spiritual experience, this life-changing experience for me, I'm now going to change that term from meat potatoes to steak and potatoes people. Okay? Because steak here at the Bundy Ranch is good. I watched some steak running through that underpass, and I was getting hungry. Yeah, I'm just joking. By the way, I have a strange sense of humor, all right? But steak is good. I call us steak and potatoes people. Now, please forgive me. My my listenership, I call this the coalition of like-minded individuals who are just basic hard-working Americans that are coming awake to these issues. And we want to find a politician, a representative that's going to go to Washington, D.C. to represent our interests. I've gotten to the point now where there's a very, very select few individuals. Now, when Kelli came on my show, I did some background on her as well, as to what her beliefs are, and they were pretty consistent with guess who? With mine, which I think pretty much represents really the leave me the heck alone and don't take our stuff. Let me get a round of, or a show of hands or a round of applause. Just clap if you wish. How many of you share the same political persuasion as I do? Leave me the heck alone and don't take my stuff. Okay? And it's really that simple. We could, and boy, I'm telling you what, if you thought I was on fire before, just think how on fire I'm going to be with this success story, one of the greatest in my lifetime, one of the greatest American success stories, a peaceful revolution, power of the people, backed up with a credible threat of Second Amendment, okay? On display in the face of tyranny, okay? Just think how my message going forward is going to be very confidently saying that can we do this peacefully? Well, guess what, folks? For one of the first time in my lifetime, I could only hope and imagine that something like this could happen. But it happened here today. We, the people, came together peacefully. I say, are you guys okay with me saying steak and potatoes, people? Yeah. Steak and potatoes? Yeah. Steak and potatoes, people coming together, a coalition of like-minded individuals that will not negotiate on certain terms. And they are as follows. God sent us here with certain, I'm going to say this in constitutional format, but I'm going to back up a little bit. Certain unalienable rights. And what that means to me is that my God and my Creator sent me here, pardon the expression, all of us here, naked, with the right to defend ourselves, to come and go freely, to speak out, not harm anybody. Those rights, God sent us here with. That piece of paper called the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land that backs up those things. There's certain things that are non-negotiable for each and every one of you, but guess what, folks? This is what we proved here today. Do we have anybody here under the age of 18? We have small children here. They came here, aren't even old enough to vote, came here with their families, and I think they had a pretty good understanding of what was happening here, okay? They were exercising their God-given right to come out here and demand accountability from our federal government. The success story of the Bundys, and I believe that the Bundys are a family who are truly, I would say, are truly awesome ambassadors going forward for how we're going to do this thing. Because we do it for the Bundys. We do it here in Clark.